Every one of these F1 crashes is terrifying, but as this video goes on, they only get scarier. Fire, explosions, pure chaos, and it all begins in Australia 2016, the opening race of the season. For Fernando Alonso, it was a fresh start after a frustrating 2015 with McLaren. Esteban Gutierrez, meanwhile, was returning to the grid with Haas and needed to make an impact. Then, on lap 17, Alonso made his move.
Gingerly indeed, we've got a safety car, and that's a...
Gutierrez braked slightly earlier than expected, launching Alonso's car into the air and straight into the barriers at over 300 kilometers per hour. The red flag was deployed immediately. Despite walking away, Alonso was ruled out of the next race with rib fractures. The crash was a chilling reminder of F1's dangers. A driver no stranger to flipping cars, just from the opposite direction, is Lando Norris. The 2021 Belgian Grand Prix. Relentless rain pounding the Spa circuit, so severe that multiple drivers raised concerns over visibility and grip. Still, this had been Lando's weekend, topping the timesheets in Q1 and Q2. Heading into Q3, he was the favorite for pole. But as he approached Arouge and Rattillon, the commentators noticed.
Did that go round? Did the McLaren go round?
Yes, it did! Yes, it did! That's Lando Norris, as everybody in that McLaren garage looks at the screens.
Nos está costando... Uy, ¡guau! ¡Qué leche! Nos está costando mucho.
As everyone in the McLaren garage watched the screens, the car suddenly snapped left in the rain and slammed into the barriers at around 280 kilometers per hour. The impact was brutal. Sebastian Vettel, one of the drivers who had voiced concerns, was the first on the scene.
There is Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin, just making sure that he's okay. First driver on the scene. He too was worried about the conditions.
What the did I say? What did I say? Red flag? Yeah. Unnecessary. Is he okay?
Mind you, rain isn't required for a crash to last that long. At the 1990 Italian Grand Prix, Derek Warwick learned that the hard way. Monza, the home of speed. During the warm-up session on race day, Warwick's Lotus stalled at the pit exit, needing marshals to help get it back onto the grid. That would be the least of his problems that day. As he headed down Monza's high-speed finish line.
Almost unbelievable, and oh God. That is a Lola, that's all I can tell. No, it's Derek Warwick.
At those speeds, there was no time to react. His Lotus slammed into the barriers at full force, tearing through them before bouncing back onto the track in pieces. Debris was scattered everywhere. Yet this wasn't the most unbelievable part of the crash. For most drivers, something that violent would end their day. But not Warwick. This moment would go down in F1 folklore. Just minutes after one of the most horrifying crashes in Formula One history, he was back in the Lotus garage. He wasn't done. His first instinct was to get into the spare car. And incredibly, Warwick lined up for the restarted race as if nothing had happened.
His first thought being to get into the spare car.
Despite the heroic comeback, his race didn't last much longer. At the second start, he retired on lap 26 with a gearbox failure. But his resilience had already made the headlines, much like Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton did at the 2021 British Grand Prix, for all the wrong reasons. Silverstone. Hamilton was determined to win his home race and fly the Union Jack in front of his fans.
Raise the Union Jack for the fans. It's like the most proud moment an athlete can have.
Especially after losing ground to Verstappen in the title fight. With Verstappen on pole position, it's lights out.
Once again, Max Verstappen gets a decent start. Not as good as yesterday. Hamilton is right with him. Leclerc is already ahead of Bottas. Verstappen's ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Going through the second turn. It's the Red Bull, but Hamilton's coming back.
Just 40 seconds into the race, neither Hamilton nor Verstappen was willing to back out heading into Copse corner.
Again, this time on the inside, a continent touch! Verstappen is out of the race, and that's a big crash into Copse! Hamilton continues on.
Hamilton got a strong slipstream and dived down the inside. Verstappen refused to yield, turned in, and sent the Red Bull flying into the barriers with a terrifying 51G impact. Verstappen was taken to the hospital for precautionary checks, but remarkably emerged unharmed. Meanwhile, the firestorm between Red Bull and Mercedes, already at an all-time high, was about to be turned up even further.
Yeah, Michael, look, that's an enormous accident, and it was 100% Max's corner. Full blame lays on Hamilton.
Understood, Christian, that's why it's under investigation.
Despite pleas from Red Bull, Hamilton received only a 10-second time penalty, which he served in the pit lane. Rejoining in 4th place, Lewis had a mountain to climb.
Lewis Hamilton, this is where he tangled with Max Verstappen.
We invert the cars into turn 15 this lap.
Lewis Hamilton up into 2nd place in this race. Remember what happened at Copse on lap 1? Here goes Hamilton on lap 50. Oh! And he tries to get past Leclerc and goes off the track. Has Hamilton got through? Yes, he has! He wins the British Grand Prix!
Red Bull were furious, but there was nothing they could do. Lewis came out on top in front of his home crowd. Against all odds, the Brit pulled through in a race that would be talked about for ages. But just like Felipe Massa in 2009, there was nothing he could do either, setting the stage for one of the freakiest accidents in F1 history. Massa, still recovering from the heartbreak of narrowly losing the 2008 title, needed a strong result with Ferrari. However, something bizarre had already happened before his Q2 run.
Oh, something is broken on my car.
Hey, sir. As Barrichello went into turn 3, debris from his rear suspension flew off and landed right on the racing line.
It bounced along the asphalt before coming to rest in the middle of the track. No one saw it. No one knew. As Massa approached turn 4 at nearly 260 kilometers per hour, the loose suspension spring bounced straight into his helmet. The impact was instant and brutal. Massa's head snapped backward. And if you look closely, you can see his foot remained pressed on both the throttle and the brake, sending his Ferrari straight off the track. The crash itself wasn't especially dramatic, but when he hit the wall, his body went limp. Silence followed. Massa wasn't moving.
Ferrari driver Felipe Massa will not race in tomorrow's Hungarian Grand Prix after being knocked unconscious during a major accident in qualifying.
Medical teams rushed to the scene, and within minutes, Massa was extracted and airlifted to a hospital. The injuries were serious. He suffered a fractured skull, a concussion, and severe swelling around his left eye. When asked if he remembered anything,
well, I don't remember anything, to be honest. For me, it was very strange because it's difficult to explain what's happened. I know everything. Do you remember Rubens? I said no, I don't remember my Q2.
Although Massa didn't drive for the rest of the season and returned the following year, he never truly regained the dominant form he had before the accident. This wouldn't be the last time debris caused drivers to crash. In Brazil in 2003, the sport was about to witness one of the most chaotic races in recent history.
This race is over. Where do I start to tell you about the events leading up to this year's Brazilian Grand Prix?
Going into the race, everyone knew the conditions were terrible. Interlagos had been hammered by heavy rain all weekend, to the point that some were calling for it to be cancelled.
Was a dry line coming out?
For me, there was no dry line. Slipping and sliding all over the place.
The race is too unsafe to start, and we have been told that the start will be delayed.
The FIA had an opportunity to stop what was coming, but it was already too late. The moment the safety car came in on lap 8, chaos began to unfold as, one by one, cars across the grid started crashing out.
A spinner here, one of the Minardis.
It's Wilson,
I beg your pardon. Spinner shunt for Olivier Panis in the Toyota.
Has he been hit from behind? Oh, that's Ralph Furman about to come in and whack the back of him. How did that happen? And I think it's a front suspension failure. But what's happened is his front, maybe he's tagged a car earlier in the race, but the front just giving away, breaking like an egg.
This was only the beginning. The real problem was a massive river of water running across the track at turn 3. This wasn't just a wet corner, it was effectively a trap.
Oh, big accident.
Montoya and Pitsonia. Here's what happened, Martin.
Yes, and got away from Pitsonia, aquaplaned, and I've got a feeling that Montoya's just going to have his own accident. No, he's already gone off. They both aquaplaned on the same. That's what I was just talking about in turn 3. And there's just new water coming from somewhere, Jane.
Must be coming out of some drainage hole or something somewhere.
By lap 22, 7 drivers had already crashed out. And with the weather showing no signs of improving and tires struggling to grip the newly laid asphalt, the worst was still to come.
I think they're about to get a bit more. The
Schumacher's on.
Michael Schumacher has crashed.
They need to get out of there ASAP because others can well go in there. Look, and Michael, that's what I was telling you about. Safety car is out again.
Been a chaotic race, no question about it. Oh, that's Webber. He spun it. Same place as everyone else. Can he rescue? Yes, he can. He's slowing Rubens Barrichello. I don't believe it. He's retired here.
The hometown hero leading the race, Barrichello, was out. The reigning world champion, Michael Schumacher, was out. You'd think the FIA would stop the race. But even after all that, the worst crashes were still yet to come.
That in the pit straight, it is in the pit straight, and it will be an enormous accident then, because that's something like 150 miles an hour. The back end of the Jaguar's got away from him. Safety car out, of course.
There was nothing Mark Webber could do. He hydroplaned straight into the tire wall. The problem now was that the severity of the crash left debris scattered across the track, and for any oncoming driver entering what had become a lake at turn 3, there was nothing they could do.
We've got another car
Alonso,
on.
race stopped.
Red flag, race has stopped.
Unaware of the danger ahead, Alonso charged in at full speed and slammed into Mark Webber's tire barrier. His Renault bounced violently before finally coming to a stop.
Debris all over the track. As far as the Jordan team are concerned, this race is over.
Alonso didn't look good at the time, but remarkably he escaped without major injuries. And while all of this was unfolding, the race leader, Giancarlo Fisichella's car, had one last hurrah.
The car's on fire. The race-winning car in Parc Ferme has caught fire. If ever you wanted a bizarre day, this is surely it.
After all, he was the race leader. The FIA initially awarded first place to Kimi Räikkönen, but after further review, they reversed the decision and handed the win back to Fisichella, as he had overtaken Räikkönen shortly before the red flag. The following week at Imola, Räikkönen returned the trophy to Fisichella,